and I am going to talk about something that wasn't possible before a couple years ago. And the title of the talk is Continuously Funding Radical Experiments for Public Goods. Just to start, my name's Sky. I'm a contributor across the DAO space. The little avatar is me. It's my public noun. I'm in a bunch of different DAO communities: DXdao, MetaCartel, DAOhaus, Hydra Ventures, DAO, DiamondDAO. Too many, probably. And I'm going to talk about a new experiment that we came up with in the last year. And it's related to public goods. I'm making an assumption that most people here know what public goods are, but just high-level definition, it's a good that is both non-excludable and non-rivalrous. And we have a whole bunch of organizations in our space that work on this, from Giveth to Gitcoin to a handful of others. We are making this assumption that public goods are good. If you don't believe in that, we can talk about that another time. And we also all agree here that public goods are underfunded. And so to truly do what we want to do, we actually need like trillions of dollars to fund public goods. And we are working on the systems and the models that are going to enable this and allow this. But today, we can all agree that they are underfunded for sure. And so what are we going to do about it? People that are public good lovers have been hanging out together in the space for quite a while now. And a lot of projects, as I said, are trying to solve this. And at the same time, there was this mechanism that's been going for about a little over a year that was created called DAO. And so DAO, for those who don't know, there's a noun that's sold every day. It's a little, NFT on-chain. The head is a noun, which is an object. And they've been selling. All the money goes into one treasury, and that is and one noun is one vote in that treasury, and they get to decide what to do with that treasury. So DAO, one of their main things is proliferating the nouns meme across the world. They also like public goods. They also do a lot of other things and charities. And this thing was happening. And if you've been paying attention, like they have $40 or $50 million in their treasury. They're funding tons of cool stuff. There's still massive demand for these nouns. And it's a pretty amazing mechanism. It's a governance mechanism. It's a funding mechanism. It's all of these things combined. And so a bunch of us had an idea to basically combine this all together. So we use the DAOs mechanism, which is quite popular. We take public goods lovers and things that need funding for public goods. And we also throw in people that love governance, that are in lots of DAOs and want to experiment in the governance space. And you put those all together, mix it around, think. And it's hard to do online. So events like this and events in real life are great ways to bring ideas that are floating around into like real life, right? And so actually July this past year, a whole bunch of DAO heads got together in Germany at a palace, and we called it DAO Palace. And we took lots of different ideas, and we iterated, and we pushed them along. And actually, Public Nouns was an idea that we had going before, but it really helped come together during this event. We were looking at the noun distribution of nouns. We were playing around with, don't just sell one a day. Could you sell more? Could you sell less? What effect would that have? Would there be demand for buying these things? We wrote a manifesto. We wrote how it would all work, mixed it all around. There were lots of ideas. There's also lots of other forks of nouns. So there's little nouns. We were playing around. These are chili head nouns from the MetaCartel ecosystem. DAO, give a shout out to DAO. DAO was a nouns fork that is basically funding, sponsoring professional athletes that don't want to be sponsored by big companies like Red Bull. they actually also were tweaking ideas from the nouns ecosystem with things like, instead of one noun a day forever, one nar less often forever. So actually like a dynamic, like a program dynamic release or distribution of sales. And so you can think of so many different ways to tweak and change these things around. The other thing we thought was really important is most nouns up to that point are just these different object heads. They are actual nouns, they're things, and they're different heads. Some are, thrown away, and some are, are lost nouns. Some are kept around, but they're just kind of just noun heads. They might mean certain things to certain people, but we really wanted to memify it more, but really connect it with communities and people more than just like random noun objects. And so we start with like examples of organizations that we wanted to be involved. So this is actually Panvala. I don't know if you know what Panvala is. They give out these things called stamps, and this is actually Stampy. So it started as this. Like that was the original drawing for the noun head of Stampy. But because we have such great, amazing people in this space, Ben and Darren, who's here, we have artists that can actually take these things that we drew and make these amazing, like org-related noun heads. And so this is actually one of the Stampy heads. And so when we launched this thing, we didn't just want to, launch it without, on our own and let people figure out about it. So we got 7 founding organizations: MetaCartel, Gitcoin, Panvala, Radical, MolekDAO, Optimism, and CLR Fund. We had people from all those communities come together and help originate and launch this new project. But we really, as I said, the art was really important. So these heads, and so we started iterating. And pixel art, for those that don't know, is not that easy. It's not random. It's very, very specific. And so with the help of Darren, who's here, we started making noun heads, 3 different noun heads for the different organizations. Here's MetaCartel heads. Those are all different chilies. Gitcoin robots, which everyone I'm sure is aware of. Panvala stampies. Radical, cool little radical fern heads and bushes. These are MolekDAO heads in 3 different colors. And these are Optimism possums. One with a headband like a breakdancer guy, or lady mouse, a possum, sorry, not mouse. They look a little like mouse, but they're possums. CLR Fun bubbles. I really like this one that has the bubble is invisible. And then we needed dev support. So we're forking nouns, but we want to customize it a bit, and we changed a few little things. And so with the help of Isaac Patka, who's a magician, we launched, at the end of September, we launched Public Nouns. And this was the first public noun that was auctioned. It was bought by Josh, who helped put on ETH Denver. It's a Gitcoin head. It's sold for 3.54 ETH. That ETH goes into the treasury, and he was the first person who had a vote in the treasury. And so from end of September to now, we've raised, the treasury has 190 ETH over about 160 auctions. And the idea, and we have a manifesto, the idea is that all of that is going to be used in the public goods experimentation world. So this 190 ETH is not going to fund the $1 trillion of public goods that we need funded. But the idea is let's fund, the meta example is let's fund projects like Public Nouns, which is, so we want interesting ideas, experiments that are going to create new things that are going to actually help reach this trillions of dollars that we need for funding public goods. And at the same time, this is on-chain, all governance, 1 NFT per vote in the DAO. And we're using this on-chain governance to decide how to experiment in the public goods space. And so a little update on what's happening. How much time do I have? I don't see it. Perfect. So we started doing some grants from the DAO. This was actually at Shelling Point, Bogota, which was, there were a lot of public noun holders there, and we had an in-person vote. We asked for people to nominate on Twitter, and we actually, every 30th public noun goes into the treasury, and so the DAO can actually do things with that. We actually were looking for people in the public good space that were doing amazing things, and a bear, Akhtar, was the winner of this noun. So public noun number 10 actually went via proposal to her, and then she became part of the Public Nouns DAO, and we have other public nouns we can do that with. This is super cool. So there was IRL Art, which is an art and NFT organization in the Denver area. They put on this exhibit. It's an art exhibit just focused on public good. It's in the Capitol building here in Denver. It's still going on right now. It's been going for like 3 or 4 months. You can go there. You can just go into the Capitol building and you can check out an entire art exhibit just about public good. The governor, who was here at the opening ceremonies, he visited it. Well, I think he works in the building, but he visited it. They had a big reception party. One of the pieces of art is actually a public noun itself, which is very meta as well. I went there yesterday to check it out. It was super cool. There's also, this piece is by Boombox Head. So everyone in the space just made awesome, all Colorado artists made like 30 different pieces of art related to public goods, and Public Nouns helped fund this operation, give a little grants to the artists that are participating, and help put it on. Another proposal we did is, this is a super cool idea. These are all ideas that are coming from the space anyway, and Public Nouns is actually happy to support these, but Blocks Garden is making Ethereum the entire thing, which is, even including ETH1, which we don't have anymore, making it green, making it carbon neutral. So actually doing retroactive payments to bring carbon emissions to basically offset the past use of Ethereum. And so this is a map that's being sold to different people that are interested in this, and Public Nouns has a spot right there in the top in the middle next to a bunch of other early supporters, and we were a launch partner for this initiative because the environment's one of the, our planet and the environment is one of the most important public goods we all have. This is a smaller grant that Public Nouns gave. Bao, who's here, he's actually going to farmers markets down in North Carolina, and every weekend he's onboarding people in the crypto. He's teaching them about public goods. He's teaching them about crypto. So the Public Nouns actually gave him ETH to give out to people. He helps them make wallets. He teaches them, and then he actually gives them crypto. So we're doing an experiment there. He'll report back, and if it works really well, it could we could expand it and bring more sponsors and things on as well. We had an event last night, which was a public goods focused event with Pizza DAO, Giveth, and Public Nouns. It was awesome. Unfortunately, it was a little crowded. If you came, it was a little hard to get in. I guess everyone likes public goods and pizza, but that's good to hear. And then some things of where we've been seen. So when we launched Chainsaw, which is a cool Web3 publication, published a whole article on Public Nouns. One of these quotes, and I like to think one of the reasons we built or launched Public Nouns is for people like Vitalik. People ask him what he thinks about NFTs and things. He would say, I don't hate apes, I just want them to fund public goods. So he doesn't have anything against Bored Apes. He doesn't have anything against nouns. But if you can buy an NFT badge that shows your public support of something like public goods, and you can become part of that community, and you can actually display that as your avatar, which a lot of us in the space, in the community are doing, to me, it seems like it's the perfect NFT. If he was going to use an avatar, it would be the perfect NFT avatar for someone like Vitalik to use. So Vitalik, if you're listening, come check out Public Nouns. We were on Green Pill with Kevin, who had a big crowd here earlier, highly aligned. and the GM podcast with Giveth, who is right over there. And so we're getting publicity in the, mostly in the public goods space. And yeah, we even were presented, like in Griff's presentation in Bogota, about public goods. And we like to, I like the idea of public goods Legos. Hear about DeFi Legos and NFT Legos. And so Public Nouns being a part of public goods Legos really empowers all these new ideas that can happen in the space. And so now, just to kind of round it up, we have money in the treasury. We want more people. We want more organizations. We're probably going to bring on another round of organizations that are focused on public goods. We'll have all new more additional heads, an expansion basically of heads for a community. So if your community wants to be a part of it, you can come reach out. And if you have any ideas for experiments in the public goods space, also reach out. We also stole the idea from, I think, Charity Water. Maybe it's not their idea, but our goal is to fund any operations, which most is volunteer right now. But if we need to pay for some operations, social media, whatever, we actually want to fund that not from the money that goes into Public Nouns, which it could, but we have a separate grant for Public Nouns operations on Giveth, which you can give to. There's a whole give back system. We're actually giving out some of the grants through Giveth as well. And so if we can fund any operational costs for Public Nouns via this, then all of the money that's in the actual DAO will 100% will be used only for public goods and public good experiments. I don't know if, many other orgs are doing that right now in the space. And then lastly, if you go to publicnouns.wtf, this public noun, which is a MetaCartel Chili head, I'm sure there's some Chili fans here. This is on auction right now. I think there's probably 8 hours left or something. You get to join the community. You get an awesome new avatar. You can bring ideas. You can contribute. We have a Discord. And so if you're interested, tell your friends, come join the community. As Kevin did in his presentation earlier, Gitcoin projects and people that give creates this like graph of people and projects that other people can use for signaling on what is important in the space, who is coming with ideas. I actually really think that you can go through and see the ENS of many of the Public Nouns holders, and you'll see it's a very special group of people already that hold Public Nouns, and so that alone is a curated, like if I was gonna throw a public goods event, I would invite people that have Public Nouns because it's everyone in the space, or not everyone, it's a lot of the people in the space that are public goods lovers and would want to be a part of this. And so you can actually leverage that community. Thank you to the founding, Panounders is founding Public Noun originators, the organizations and the people from those organizations who helped initiate and launch it. Thank you to everyone there. And thank you for listening. That's the website. That is our Discord. And any ideas you have, you're welcome to bring. And thank you for coming. And enjoy the rest of ETH Denver.